Wasn't that really cool watching my health bar go up on my back rather than watching it happen somewhere else on the screen? What about this one from this other game that totally isn't ripping off the game that I just showed you with that really cool health bar? This is what we'd like to call UI, or if you're calling it by its government name, user interface. This little piece of information is found in just about every single game out there, and there are creative ways to give the player the stuff they need to know, and there are the lame, boring ways that most developers like to spoon feed us like we're dumb babies. UI can be done well, like I just showed you, or it can be done terribly, and right now you may be thinking, well, how bad can UI actually be? And brother, you are about to find out. Fun fact, did you know there's a website that is dedicated to showing video game UIs, and I cannot fathom why people would go to this site other than to research for a video like I am, because at the end of the day, a game is being played for the gameplay. Who gives a rat's ass if I can't understand what the hell is going on in this weird Batman game where Red Hood can walk on the air? And let's start there actually, because Lord, who thought this was a good idea for a UI? Let's examine this menu for a second. Yeah, I ain't reading all that. Like, where do I even start with this disgusting, overinflated menu? There are 7 tabs at the top of the screen, 4 more right below for a total of 11 tabs, and 9 of those 11 tabs have an icon meaning that there is something new you haven't looked at yet. We are currently in the crafting section, which in itself is within the gear section of this IKEA store of a menu, and as you can see, there is more stuff that I have access to with no idea what any of it means. There's a salvage menu that tells me what we've collected. Looks like we got some floppy disk here, the Allspark, some Chemical X, and looks like the Symbiote. Nice. This is just one menu within the menu. So if I was to go and check the mods tab within this menu, I wonder how it would look. Nope, I'm all good on that cluster truck of a menu. Oh, and by the way, those purple tabs are only located within the gear section of this menu, meaning when you go to another part of this Cheesecake Factory menu, that you're going to be greeted with different tabs. Now that is a really poor example of how to do a user interface. Forza Horizon is an example that I don't think many people would first think of when talking about UI, but it absolutely counts because look at how immersive this feels. It's like I'm actually driving the car and just looking at my speedometer through the interior dash of the car instead of the corner of my screen. Or instead of flicking the camera on by using the thumbstick, you can just look out the rear view mirror to see who's behind you. And whenever you place a waypoint to drive to a location, there will be a GPS telling you where to go and when to turn, which is a detail I didn't think would make a huge difference, but it absolutely does. Now I can crash through the first person perspective and it'll feel just like real life. Fun fact, very recently I was in a car accident that totaled my car because the driver in front of me was driving on an interstate and fell asleep at the wheel and managed to clip a light pole that fell on top of my car that I was almost done paying off, and now I have to restart a whole new loan. Love it here. Right. Back to fake cars. Pretty much most of the racing games will allow you to customize the HUD to make it feel like you're in a driver's seat, and even more so if you buy a rig and hook that bitch up like you're in Pacific Rim. Many of these HUDs don't impact gameplay in a significant way, unless we're talking about my boys over at Sucker Punch who made the stellar Ghost of Tsushima. You see, in Ghost of Tsushima, you play as Jin Sakai, a samurai looking to get revenge during the Mongol invasion, and in this game there are a ton of things to do in a massive open world, but since this game takes place before GPS was invented, there is no disembodied voice or line to follow on your map to your destination. There is, however, nature. The thing that has been with us since the dawn of time. In this game, instead of a waypoint line to follow or a compass at the top of the screen, there is the guiding wind. You will literally follow the wind as it directs you to your next objective. There is no distance meter in the game, and the only sense of distance you get is when you're looking at your map and seeing a dotted line pointing in the direction of your selected objective. This goes a long way at making yourself feel engrossed in the game, and I'm sure it would have been easier to just have a compass at the top of the screen like a certain other game set in Japan. Okay, let's go back to trash user interfaces. Resident Evil 6, specifically this ammo and item management menu, it is too cluttered and all over the place for my taste. Navigating this thing on the fly to combine herbs together so that I can transform them into Tic Tacs to consume is annoying, but what I will say is that it's very cool that each campaign that you play, the HUD is different. Chris has this simple and slick look to it, and it's probably the best of the bunch. Clear enough to understand with your health bar here, and your amount of Tic Tacs here, ammo count beneath it, it's clear enough. Jake's HUD, I'm just not a fan of these weird looking little floating boxes representing my health bar, but I do like that his HUD changes halfway through this campaign to show that he actually stole a Neo Umbrella comm device. Leon is just white. Just a bunch of boring colors for these characters and nothing really standing out, but I will give credit where credit is due. At least it is unique. There isn't another game out there that tries to do something like this and tries it differently with each campaign within the game. I would be doing a disservice to the gaming community if I didn't go into more detail about Dead Space, because simply making a stupid sound effect in the beginning of the video does not give this game its respect it deserves. Firstly, yes, there is the health bar being on your back, but can we talk about the fact that there is literally no information displayed that isn't directly shown through Isaac's rig. Ammo count is on whatever weapon he has in use. The crosshair is not a reticle on your screen, but rather a line pointed towards whatever your target you're aiming at. When you're out in space with limited oxygen, you have a timer that counts down your back, and whenever you receive video footage, it is not directly displayed to you, but rather to Isaac himself. So if you rotate the camera, the footage doesn't change to face the camera, but it stays in front of Isaac's perspective. It is the game's commitment to this mechanic that it feels so immersive and makes the game all the more scary. And this was originally released in 2008, dude. No one was moving like these guys, and now Callisto Protocol was trying to do that very same thing, but I don't know how committed to the bit it is, because I haven't played it. Where are my Callisto Protocol fans? Is this shit any good? I don't know. But that being said, let me show you how to make menu and management interesting. This is going to be the obvious choice when talking about interesting user interfaces. Persona 3 Reload. Persona 4 Revival, which isn't out yet, but you know you're going to cook with the UI because it's Atlus. And Persona 5 Royal. I'd argue that one of the biggest appeals of these games is the style it oozes. I've only played through one of these games all the way through, so I'm going to talk about Persona 3 Reload primarily. This was my first Persona game, and when I tell you that the opening scene got me hooked, what an insane feat. From the second you get to the main menu to the end of the credits, the game establishes its style then and there. It also establishes that it likes the color blue, and from what I understand, the primary color changes in each game. In Reload it's blue, Revival is yellow, and Royal is red. Look at the detail in this game's menus. It's not all rectangles and blocks to select from. It's splash screens featuring our main character in some different poses. I really like the team summary screen where the MC is holding a shard of glass over his eyes, and depending on who you're hovering over, the glass will show that character's face. I mean, even the screens that are for turn-based combat are interesting to look at. Again, it isn't just text boxes in the shape of a rectangle. When you are selecting moves from the list of characters, it creates a silhouette effect for the character you're selecting. When characters are having conversations, the text boxes have various overlays, and the character that is being shown on the screen has an outline surrounding them while their expression changes depending on what they're saying. The name of the character who's speaking has an overlay on it that adds some flair to it. I mean, look at the health bars. It's not a straight horizontal line, it's diagonal. And I know this sounds like I'm overhyping this basic interface, but it truly does make a difference when you're coming from the menus of an Ubisoft game or Call of Duty. It goes a long way in the player finding enjoyment in just being in the world. You won't find another franchise other than an Atlus franchise that takes the time to make something as benign as the Systems menu look this visually intriguing. I can't wait to see what the UI looks like in Persona 4 Revival, and I am looking forward to playing through Persona 5 Royal eventually, but those games are mad long. Yeah, with all that being said, I just feel like talking about user interfaces because I feel like it goes low-key unnoticed from time to time until one like Persona comes along and shatters our previous views on what UI can look like. But do you agree with any of my takes on this stuff, or am I tripping? What UI stands out to you? And just a reminder to you guys that are going through it right now, I know it ain't easy, but I promise you it gets better. Just gotta stick with it, keep going day by day, take it one day at a time. That's my life motto, just one day at a time, y'all. And once you get through it, you'll see the grass is green on the other side. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, chilling, vibing, all that fun stuff. Please be safe. Much love. Don't get lost in the sauce. And have a great morning, evening, afternoon. Don't be crazy. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.